What's up, guys? It's Gemini, back again. Just thought I would touch on a subject that I was thinking about, and that is, should you ride a motorcycle? So I'm speaking directly to you, right? Whoever's listening, this is for you. If you do not ride a motorcycle and you're wondering, should I ride? That's what this motovlog today is going to be about, is should you ride a motorcycle? But the first question that I'm going to propose to you is, should anybody ride a motorcycle? Does it matter who you are? Should everybody ride motorcycles? Short answer for me is no. And I know that's going to sound kind of messed up. It's like, oh, well, you know, people should be able to do whatever they want. Okay, well, you know what? Anybody can ride a motorcycle if you get a license and buy a motorcycle, but should they? That's the real question here. So the people, to me, that should not ride motorcycles, the top of that list are people that are scared while riding. So when I took my MSF course, the beginner course, I had never ridden a street bike before, and I got out there and I went through, you know, all the steps, went through it with them and everything. I got pretty comfortable pretty quickly. Now, of course, there was still a little bit of nervousness there, a little bit of caution, but I wasn't scared. I felt that I knew I could do whatever I could here to avoid, you know, any serious crashes or anything like that. I was also wearing full gear, right? And I'm talking full leathers. I've never even been on a street bike before, but I brought leathers with me and wore them because I knew that I wanted to protect myself. I know I probably look stupid because I'm a complete beginner and I'm out here, you know, in a Shoei helmet and, you know, full Alpine Star leathers, but, you know, it doesn't matter. It was protection. I brought it with me. I wore it. Now, there were other people out there that were in a helmet, a jacket, and boots, right? Just the basics, which is good. At least, you know, you're wearing something. And you could just see, not even on their face, but the way that they rode, the twitchiness, the stop and go, the jerkiness. Not only did they not have control, but they were scared. Like, you could just tell that they, like, one guy had to get off for a second because they didn't want to go faster than 5 miles an hour because they were terrified. And, you know, I understand, like, not everybody is the same. Not everybody has the same limits. Not everybody has the same experiences, right? The same amount of control, and they're trying something new, and that's great. Like, if you don't know how to ride and you've never ridden before and you want to see if you like it or not, I recommend for anybody, if you're able-bodied enough, because I've seen people ride that have, you know, like prosthetic legs and stuff, so you can still ride as long as you're able-bodied enough, right, to ride, and there's any inkling in you that says, like, I think I would enjoy riding, go take the beginner course where it's a you know, like, controlled setting. All the bikes have, like, you know, little roll bars and stuff, so they won't get super damaged. You have instructors there that deal with beginners specifically and have done it a lot. That I would recommend for anybody, but there are some people that will take that and go, this isn't for me, and they shouldn't be riding, you know, end of story. And I think most people can agree with that. I think it's pretty reasonable, pretty sensible, because the last thing you want is to be riding in traffic, you know, terrified. Because there was one guy in my class, and he passed the MSF course, but you could just tell, like, even though he passed technically by the numbers on the test portion, like, you could just tell, though, the way that he went about doing it, that he was not ready to be on the street. And this guy, mind you, can go and get his license on a written test, buy a motorcycle, and go on the street now legally, and that terrifies me to think about. Hopefully he would do more courses, take more training, and hopefully he wouldn't go on the street because he knows that he's not ready. But there are some people that don't think that far ahead. So now that we've gone over should everybody or anybody ride, let's talk about should you ride. The first thing that comes to mind for me when thinking about should you ride is, why do you want to ride? Do you want to ride just because you like motorcycles, you think they're cool, and you want to be cool and you want to have a cool motorcycle? Personally, I think that's not the greatest reason. To each their own, though. I think the biker community is really awesome, and it's a great way to socialize and to meet new people. But as a main reason, like, I just want to show off and look cool on a bike, terrible, because those are the people that go out and buy leader bikes right away as their first bike and crash them and then never ride again. So I've seen it all too much. You go to dealerships and you see all these used leader bikes of just people that have a lot of money and go out and buy the most expensive, most powerful bike they can find to show it off, and then crash or get hurt or terrify themselves and just don't ever ride. And it's like, so for me, I think as a secondary reason, like as a benefit, it's a good reason, but not as your primary reason, right? Because definitely for me, I love being a biker. It does feel cool. It feels awesome to ride a motorcycle. You know, it feels like awesome to get out and see other bikers too. Give them the peace sign, they give you the peace sign back. You know, like I like all of that. I think it's a really cool like little tradition that we have as bikers. And you know, bikers always look out for each other too, like without even knowing each other. So many videos of just bikers stopping to help other bikers that their bikes either crashed or ran out of gas or whatever, you know. So it's just funny how the biker community like kind of actually breeds that positivity. So in my opinion though, why you ride is like a very crucial question. You know, if you need to ride to commute, that's a great reason to ride a motorcycle. It can save you a lot of money. It can get you places quicker, debatably, because people always seem to forget that gearing up and gearing down takes time, which some people don't gear up and gear down. And yeah, you're going to save time, but then, you know, you're riding at your own risk here, which is up to you. I don't recommend it. I'm always wearing all my gear all the time. Why else should you ride? Maybe you want to have a hobby and something that you can get better at. So I know for me, I ride only for pleasure. I don't commute. I'm not against it, because I understand some people do it, you know, because it's a more affordable way of commuting. But here in Los Angeles, I don't commute because it's too dangerous in my opinion. Again, it's your own risk to take. But I ride for pleasure. So if you want to ride because you want to do something and take up a new, you know, hobby or experience, like riding motorcycles, for example, I like that motorcycles get me out of the house, and I like getting to ride in the canyons, you know, like all that stuff. So is that a good reason to ride? I think so too, you know, especially for someone like me that came from cars. You know, I think motorcycles are a great way to get out and a great way to just learn how to experience more of life. Some people ride for adventure, not just commuting, but for adventure. And that kind of came to me without me thinking that I was going to be doing it more. I like to ride for adventure now too. So, you know, there are lots of reasons why you should ride, and there are definitely some reasons why you shouldn't ride. But again, I think for me, if you're not scared and you have a good reason why you want to ride, go for it. And the reasons aren't hard to find. Like I said, if you just want to go out and explore, all right, get up, go take the test, you know, take the beginner course, make sure that you're okay with it and that you feel that you can do it safely. Take more courses if you need to, get your license, go adventure. Simple as that. So I don't think the whole should you ride question is very limited. I just think that, you know, make sure that you think about these things, you know, because another thing too is, what kind of motorcycles do you like? And then why are you going to ride? So if you combine the two, let's say, oh, well, I really love sport bikes, but I want to take long touring adventures. Well, you're going to have a little bit of a problem with that. You can't ride a sport bike hundreds of miles. I mean, you can, but it's just a terrible idea, you know? So you got to think about that going into, well, I want to ride, so I got my license, this is why I want to ride, but I like these bikes, and then put the two together. You might have to make some compromise. Well, you're going to have to make compromises. For example, like I said, if you want to go touring and you want to ride long distance, but you love sport bikes and see how they look and like how they look, well, the compromise is going to be you're going to be in a lot of pain, and it's not going to be physically that much fun. I mean, don't get me wrong, they make, you know, like touring sport bikes, but they're not the same aesthetically, they're not the same performance-wise. So, again, that's the next compromise that would come into play there. It's just something to think about, you know, going into it. For all you people that don't ride and want to ride, you know, that's just something to think about. So take all that into account, figure out why you want to ride, figure out the kind of bikes you like, go practice, take a beginner course. Please take a beginner course, because they'll provide the bike for you. I'm pretty sure most beginner courses even provide the helmets for you. So do that, see if it's really for you. Get out there and have fun, guys. That's what I did, and I'm loving it. So with that being said, hopefully I opened your guys' eyes up a little bit for all you guys that don't ride, because I know some of you don't ride yet. Just put some thought into it. I'm sure you'll make good decisions if you think hard enough. But make sure, no matter what, make sure you get a bike that you're actually gonna love, and make sure you get a bike that you do love, and make sure you get a bike that's gonna be for the purpose that you're riding it, please. And try and do your best to balance all those things, and you will have a blast. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna sign out here. Hope you enjoyed the ass of this McLaren for this last section of the ride. It's a pretty good looking car. If you're new to my channel, if you don't ride, if you like videos, you like how-tos, you like reviews, don't forget, subscribe, please. I'll have many more videos coming. I try and post as frequently as I can, usually about 2 times a week. So look out for that. Give me suggestions in the comment section below if you have video suggestions, things that you have questions about, and I'll see what I can do. So anyway, guys, this is Gemini again. I'll catch y'all later. Peace.